Yo, what up, it's Nick?
What's up, Nick?
Welcome to the first edition of the CHADS videocast.
Yeah, we've been doing this privately for our community for quite a while, and now we're gonna do our first video free episode. Wow,
God, we're always giving shit away for free.
I know.
That's the problem with us.
Just a couple of nice guys, nice looking guys,
Filthy philanthropists, as they say. You guys should remember that word.
filthy.
Filthy and philanthropist. What is a philanthropist anyway?
There's someone who does something out of the goodwill of their heart.
Like Bill Gates. Great man.
Yeah, or
Who else?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. He's a philanthropist. He saved
George
somebody.
Clooney.
Well, you know what Joe Biden just did today?
What did he do?
He pardoned his son.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Oh, Hunter's free?
Yeah, Hunter's free.
Well-deserved pardon.
Well-deserved pardon for sure. That's so funny, man. Anyway, so we've been doing audio version of this podcast for a year because it's a real pain in the butt. It is a pain in the ass.
It's fine. We just sit right here and talking to mics. It's not that bad, right?
It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Anyway, I guess we'll be doing this with video from now on, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yep. And what is the topic for today, my friends?
What did we decide? Things that don't matter anymore.
Things that don't matter anymore. Well, one is Hunter Biden's past, his past crimes, man. They don't matter at all now. He's back.
That shit don't matter no more.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You guys could look up what Hunter Biden did. Maybe see some videos.
Yeah. Check out his laptop.
Yeah, check out his laptop.
His laptop don't matter no more.
His laptop don't matter no more. But yeah, we're talking about things like, you want to throw out the first one, my friend?
Things that don't matter anymore?
Yeah.
What was it? College?
College.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally a useless scam, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
more
it
or less.
depends. I always say if you're going to, that's why I say to my kids, if you want to be a scientist, a mathematician, or a doctor, sure. But anything else,
a useful job.
a useful job, yeah. But you're not going into any humanities. I was in grad school, and I just remember thinking, like, I'm so privileged what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted that on my, I needed the ranks.
You want that rank? You want that college street cred? Dude?
I didn't want to just rank. That means stink too.
It does.
He ranks, yeah. I didn't want that rank. I wanted some ranks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's, especially in the States. So in Japan, it's very reasonable. But if you're going to go to a private college in the United States, it's a good $70,000, man, per year.
Yeah, man. I never looked into it. You know, I did go to college. I did graduate.
You did?
Despite what people say.
Yeah, I mean, you're a moron, but...
Yeah. So I was even told by my college that I did not have a diploma.
Wait, what is that? What do you mean?
Oh, that's a long story, but basically I got a diploma out of them because they fucked up, more or less.
Okay.
We'll talk about it another day. But
okay.
The only way I decided I was going to college is if I could pay for it. And so I applied to 2 schools in New York City. One was called Cooper Union, and it was a free, if accepted, school.
Wow.
Therefore, pretty hard to get in. I think there was like a 6% acceptance rate or something like that. So didn't get that one. And then I went to Hunter College for film, and that one you could just, because of the age I went, I was already 23, so I didn't have any issues with like parents claiming me on taxes and stuff. So
It was
I
called
could pay it.
Hunter College.
Hunter College, dude.
I could make up some good jokes from there.
Yeah?
I could make some callbacks,
Yeah?
but I won't.
Okay.
Did you enjoy college?
I hated it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I hated it in the States and liked it in Japan because I could party a lot.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, I mean, these kids, man, they go into college, especially if the parents aren't paying. They take out loans. They graduate with like $400,000 in debt. They try to get their jobs at the DEI company. Actually, they're doing pretty well right now, so maybe I can't complain. Maybe you should go to...
I don't know. I just I think what you said first was correct. It's a bit of a... It's about buying the books and wearing the apparel and, being a part of the college culture. I think that people want.
Well, you could watch a 12-hour YouTube, documentary on something and learn what you learned in 6 months or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought college was way easier than high school. Just for reference.
For me, college was Dude, it was like 6 hours of homework every day at my college.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow I was able to just breeze through all that.
Japanese college was very easy. It was very easy, and one of the things that stood out the most was sociology class, where on our midterm, our professor was arrested.
Nice.
Yeah, the police came into our class and were like, "You guys don't have a test today," and everybody's like, "Woo!" Yeah, because he did something with his student. Yeah,
He went surfing, or
Yeah, I wonder what he did.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, what else doesn't matter, Nick?
what else doesn't matter? What about
Hollywood?
Yeah, Hollywood. I mean, the opinions of celebs.
Yeah.
Actually, Hollywood doesn't matter at all, but the opinions of celebs definitely doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's really like gone down.
As we've just found out with this election.
Yeah.
They tried, the Avengers gathered.
The Avengers gathered and no one cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they did not save. That makes their superhero avatars not look that powerful either, right?
Yeah. It just kind of weakens the whole thing.
Yeah. It's funny because I watched Iron Man the other day, which is a good movie.
Yeah.
The first Iron Man,
fine.
phew.
But that's like 2008 or something.
Yeah, it was 2000. And dude, it was very violent and very sexual, and not like how Disney hadn't bought it yet, or
No, they didn't buy it.
Okay, so there's a big difference there. Right?
Yeah. Disney, Marvel, Disney, Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a big hand in making Hollywood not matter anymore.
Disney doesn't really matter now, right?
Yeah, that's something. I mean, the classics of Disney will always be special, won't they?
Well, I said I went on the plane. I was traveling to maybe to America, and I wanted to watch the live action Aladdin for some reason. I guess there was no other movie to watch. In Disney, this is like 2 years after they made the actual live action Aladdin, and they'd censored their own movie.
Yeah.
It was really funny. Like there was like, this movie may have
depictions
that
of people
aren't acceptable in this year or something like that.
I think that stuff doesn't matter anymore either.
Yeah, I think how about calling people, calling this racist or sexist, or
calling people the isms?
That used to be like, dude, if you were so worried about being called that.
Yeah, one of those.
You know what I mean?
Misogynist, sexist.
Yeah.
Phobe, some kind of phobe.
Something phobe, yeah, but it
doesn't matter anymore.
Well, when you do something too much, that's like when there's too much gold or too many dollars. That's what inflation is, right?
The boy who cried wolf, dude.
Dude, exactly.
The boy who cried wolf. He would say that there's a wolf coming, and then the wolf would never come, and eventually no one believed him anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Hollywood is, that was one of the main aspects of America that people like.
Until the wolf came and ate him, actually. That was the lesson of the story.
Yeah. But it's a brutal story. How it's funny we tell kids that story because it's pretty scary. Yeah. But Hollywood was one of America's like main attractions, right?
Of course.
It still is kind of.
It's a culturally defining aspect of America.
Yeah.
And a lot of what the world sees America as.
Why do you think Hollywood doesn't matter now? What has changed?
They've just gone so far up their ass about everything.
And they always were.
Yeah, but now we get to. I think the big change is social media. It's a very trite thing to say. That, it's always because of social media.
Yeah.
But it's kind of true because you got this exposure into these celebrities' lives that maybe we didn't really want, and there's no mystery, there's no allure to their how they live anymore. And you remember growing up, you'd see a magazine of some stars or something like that, or some video, and it's like they're just like us,
Yeah.
And that was cool then. But now you find out, they really are just like us.
Yeah. Because back then you didn't think. They were like above human.
Yeah,
exactly. They're like demigods.
They were celebrities.
Right? Yeah.
That's funny.
They really fucked themselves that one, didn't they?
Yeah.
And just the quality of films, man. There used to be so many good films made in like 1 year. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, what was an amazing film made last year? Can you even name something?
No. I can't. I don't know. I can't even think of the last good movie I have seen.
Yeah, shit, man.
But and the TV shows are the same. It's all kind of just.
Yeah, dude,
you cross your fingers every time. Every time I watch something new, I'm like, please.
What about Netflix series? I don't think they're as good as they were before.
No. Not at
I
all.
mean, when you look at like The Sopranos on HBO, which I don't know if you guys know, but you can watch it on Amazon Prime, I think. I mean, these were like masterpieces, right? And then when these companies just have so much money to fucking throw at these series that, you know, subpar directors or writers,
they become these bloated, inflated shows that, you know, everyone's getting their cousin to work on. And so the money's just going out the window.
Yeah.
And they end up with nothing really that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not focused anymore, I think. It's just, it's all name brand stuff now. I think, ironically, we just said Iron Man was really kind of a good movie, right? But it was kind of that ushering of the Hollywood movie that, or the superhero movies that kind of created that, what was it? What was I saying?
Well, I mean, the superhero movies now suck.
Yeah.
I mean, they're garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if you like, actually, I feel bad for people that like them.
Well, God damn it. Fuck, I had a point now.
But I was watching Iron Man and thinking like, man, this actually like makes me think it'd be cool to be him. But now when I see these, maybe it was just the Avengers just got so ridiculous or something like that. It was really the Avengers that turned me off of everything.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one in space? You know, it's kind of funny.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That first one I thought was a good movie. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I want to say. The name branding of everything. So now the concept is, you know, you can only have a success if you already have a following, right?
Yeah.
So you can't just create a new movie now. It has to be something people already know about from a different type of media. So I meant the irony of Iron Man being this great movie, you know, a movie that people liked, but that was kind of the start of us getting accustomed to only going to see things that we are already a fan of.
Yeah.
And so they've tried to do it with Lord of the Rings recently. That was a huge, that's
garbage,
the most expensive show ever,
and they fucked it
and
up.
it's a failure, complete failure.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's all name brand. It's all just like, but it's the brand. Don't you like the brand?
Yeah.
And that's what they tried to do that with Star Wars.
So it's not the contents, it's the name.
Yeah. And Marvel went down the same way.
Let me look back. What about schools? It's not what you learned. It's not the contents of what you learned. It was just your degree of whatever school you went to.
I went to Harvard, dude.
And I could name some people who go to Harvard who don't have very good opinions.
Name them. Name them on
I won't
this
name them, but
cast
they're
right now.
they're a famous person in Japan, and a lot of Japanese people do not like them. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a famous person I know, but I don't.
Well, I'll tell you off the podcast. You guys will get what I'm saying. But this whole thing is, it goes back with these films in university. It's the content, or like what it's actually made of, is valueless.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the name that remains, and you know.
Yeah, they're just milking it for all it's worth, right?
Yeah. I mean, we know a guy who is a really successful entrepreneur, owns tons of businesses, restaurants, never went to college, doesn't want his kids to go to college. He said it doesn't matter. You know, you could just do it yourself. In this day and age, you could do it yourself, you know.
Where there's a will, there's a way, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, you'll go to like a recording studio, or you'll record something, and you think like in the 80s, man, you had to be really good, spend a lot of money, and be in like a studio that was like this.
Yeah, well, in a way, it was this form of class separation, right?
Or
like,
filtering, right?
Yeah, like you could only be a part of the rich man's club if you had the riches or whatever. You could only be in Hollywood if you were, you know, a star or whatever. So it was creating that gap between people that just doesn't really exist anymore because everything's so accessible. So that led to the decline of the celebrity, obviously. Celebrities don't matter anymore, speaking of Hollywood as, you know, generally, but celebrities just don't matter.
Well, I think the next thing that's not going to matter are influencers, man.
Yeah, well, that's why they don't matter. That's why celebrities don't matter, because everyone technically is a celebrity now.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think influencers are really watering themselves down.
They'll do anything.
They'll do anything.
I mean, I've seen what you've done.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to kick your ass? gonna give you a little poke with the cactus.
Dude, I think I got one in my pants right now.
Really?
I just noticed.
A cactus or a poke?
No, like a freaking...
Yeah, he poked
whatever.
Me. He poked me with his pants.
Hey, that was something else, buddy.
All right, guys. If you enjoy this podcast, we actually have a podcast that you can pay for. It's not that much. And we have the transcript. We explain difficult terms.
That's right.
What are some other
He's
perks?
correct about that.
We have a community where we meet and we do calls twice a month where we talk about how to acquire languages like English and then different social dynamics of the United States, how Americans interact, or what is the culture of the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in that, check it out.
We've got a couple products.
Yeah. If you want to learn how to acquire not just English, but any language, we have Foundations Remix, which is a roadmap on learning languages. We have a course on immersion called Sparta Immersion, so you guys can check that out in the description. And definitely subscribe, comments. As you know, we're just two guys talking on a podcast, right?
Isn't that what they're all doing?
That's what they're all doing,
just a couple
man.
of guys.
I mean, podcasts don't matter anymore, man.
That's true. They don't
Everybody
matter.
has a fucking podcast now, right?
But this one matters for them because
This
this is important for your English journey, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you again on the flip side.
Peace.
Peace.